Do you need a degree or a certificate? Do you have to go back to school to get into grant writing? The answer is, spoiler alert, no you don't. But there is a very strong case for getting certified, and I want to paint that picture for you. All right, so with that, let's hit it. Number one, when you get certified, and I'm not saying go get a full degree because that's overload, frankly, right? This isn't a saying my dad always used to say, which is we go to school for our ABCs and we go to work for the rest of the alphabet, right? Like the experience is where you're doing the bulk of your learning, but those ABCs, like they're valuable to learn the rest of the alphabet. So you short track your learning journey sizably, like by years, when you learn from someone else, which can be the difference between you actually doing this, becoming this, or giving up, right? So it makes a big difference to go get trained by a program that works for you and your goals. So just consider there's a lot of value in being able to see someone else's roadmap, their templates, their community group, etc., right? You don't have to reinvent the wheel. Number two, you will develop your confidence. And half the battle, I'm telling you, is being able to stand proudly and say, I am a grant writing unicorn. I write winning grants. Hire me, right? So half of it is just developing that confidence within you, and getting certified, going through a program is going to give you a huge, huge, huge boost. Number three, it increases your credibility externally. A number of the students in our program get their certificate. We actually mail them one. It's really fun. They'll post a picture of it on their LinkedIn. They actually add it into their profile as a certificate that they've earned. Many include it on their resume, right? So there's a lot of places that you can visually use it to say, hey, I'm certified. They use it on their website, right? So there's lots of value in that because it's perceived by others to be like, okay, cool, this person knows what they're doing. So that then leads to the next question of, well, what are your options for certificate programs? So I will link below an actual full-on detailed blog post that when we went way deep on this to figure out, well, what are the best options depending on what your goals are. But here's just a quick run through of what the landscape looks like. So you can go take a $20 course from Udemy. You're welcome to do that. It's an hour long. But frankly, I think you could, for the same price, go buy a book on grant writing, which, by the way, here you go. I have a book. It's How to Write a Grant, Become a Grant Writing Unicorn. Same price as Udemy, and it's 3 hours of learning. And I'm about to drop a second edition, and it'll be a little bit more than that. It's going to be awesome. So then there's also colleges, right? So Notre Dame has a program. A lot of other colleges do. Here's the reality. We've had a lot of people join our program that said they lost their confidence or they didn't actually know how to apply it. It was a lot more theoretical. So they didn't know how to actually, okay, cool, I get the technical training, but how do I make money doing this? How do I build a career as a grant writer? So it is lacking that real world context. And I've had some people say that they didn't even want to touch grant writing after they had their college educated program, right? So that's a bummer because colleges are one of our greatest institutions, right? Like higher education is super duper important, but I just don't think it's nimble enough to be reflecting the realities of what it's like to learn grant writing today and to give you that support that you need as you pull off this pivot. But hey, it's an option, so check out what you have available. There's other institutions like the American Grant Writers Association, so pretty old school options, right? You can go to their website and it's old school, right? It looks like a 1990s website. And I think the challenge that they have is that they used to teach a ton of in-person live workshops. And when we shifted with COVID-19 to being online, though they had an online option before that, I think they just took their live stuff and just called it online, like just threw it online, but it really wasn't intentionally built for the online learner. So I just don't think it was super intentionally designed for you. That's just what I think. So Grant Writing Made Easy. This program is by Dr. Sounds like I'm saying nothing nice, but we're going to get into some good options. Dr. Krista Kurlunkis. This program I like a lot. She's someone I would kind of consider a peer, right? An educator that came from experience, where her zone of genius is working with you if you are in a nonprofit, right? If you're within an organization and there's maybe other roles you're playing in terms of shaping a project and getting it ready. I think just her particular nonprofit emphasis is super relevant. So I do recommend her. We'll have a link below for that program as well. It's also more affordable. I think it's around $500 to go through her training, and it looks really solid as far as I can tell. So that's a viable option. Then you're going to find a lot of other things on the internet. I think there's something Magic Easy. I can't remember. Grant Writing Magic. I don't know. The point is, you want to find something that fits for your personality and your goals. I guess I should introduce the last one. If you would like, you can also take our program. It's called the Grant Writing Unicorn Method. We have a program that is called a collective where you can join and be a part of a program for a year that helps you if any of these statements are true. So it might not be for you, but it's for people that are trying to pull off a career change and they want to freelance grant write, either full-time or use that freelance experience to land a full-time job, or maybe they just want it to be a side hustle because they want to retire soon. Maybe you're a teacher, you're retired, and you want to be able to travel more but still have some income, right? So there's a lot of different ways that people come into it, but if you're basically trying to figure out how do I pull off the career element to have the life you love, that's where we fit in. But I understand that's a niche and maybe it's not you. So in terms of, like I said, just check out the blog post below. You'll get the full detail on pros and cons depending on your goals. But that does segue us into the second bit of this conversation. Okay, so the next thing I wanted to talk about is figuring out, really dialing in what are your goals, right? Because that really dictates the path that you're going to take as you decide, do I want to get into this and really build a career? And here's the deal. You won't really know until you actually go and get some experience, which is why we're so big on teaching you how to get paid as a grant writer as a freelancer. Because anything can look good on paper, but you just got to get in and do it to see if you love it. So I want you to be able to, here's your homework assignment, if you will. If you can answer these 3 questions, this will really help guide you forward in figuring out what is your end game objective. So that's this. What is your end game professionally? Right? Professionally, if I can spell. Okay? And then what is your end game personally? What's the lifestyle that you want? Right? So, for example, personally, I love to work on a Friday night and a Sunday. Just nice productive days. It's quieter. But you bet that yesterday was Monday. It's dumping really good powder here in Valdez, Alaska, and I took off 4 hours to go backcountry ski with my boyfriend. It was great. So there's something, and that's where consulting fits in really, really well. It's you have that more of that time flexibility. If you're someone that's like, no, I just really want something secure, I have a very specific organization I want to work with, then go land a rockin' job with them, right? So that's an option as well. It just depends on what are your goals professionally and personally. And if you're anything like me, you're trying to figure out how do we blend these two together so that the whole package is holistic in one. Okay, and question number 3 is, who has the right vibes? Who gives me energy? I'm gonna say who has the right vibes, but you get the idea. So, when you are looking at different certificate programs and you're trying to decide if it's a good fit for you, look at their email copy, look at their website, look at their things they produce in the world. Does it feel like you? Does it feel good? Is it whatever you're comfortable with, right? That's important because And the other thing you can think about as just a pro tip is do your homework to make sure it's what you're actually seeking. So one of the ways that you can do this is, like, we encourage people to say, hey, do you want to talk to someone that's in our collective? This way you can actually get that inside perspective. Of course, I'm going to tell you it's awesome, right? But what is someone else going to say? And so that's really nice when you can kind of look under the hood and have a look. So I'd say A, figure out what their guarantee is. How strong are they standing in their program? B, see if you can't connect with someone that's actually in the program. And C, Google it. Figure out what their certificate is all about, reviews, etc. See if it's going to fit for your goals. Okay, so with that, bottom line is no, you do not need to go back to school. No, you don't need a degree. And no, you don't even need a certificate. But highly encourage that you do it for those 3 reasons. Don't reinvent the wheel, developing your confidence, and increasing your credibility. So there's a lot of value in doing this, but find the program that's right for you. If you are looking to become a freelancer or get a new job and you're trying to figure out how to get paid as a grant writer, get that experience, and build a life you love, whole picture, then you can definitely check out the training that we have below on how to get started without any experience. All right, if you like this video, hit subscribe and drop a comment in the section, drop a comment below and I'll answer all of them. Okay, that's it. See ya.